Another class of law that is called substantive law. Substantive law basically creates rights and duties of parties. It's substantive, which means which have some sort of a weight, like punishment है, किसी चीज़ की allotment है, कोई different substantive जिसमें matters को substantive तरीके से डील किया जाता है, जैसे कि rights और duties of the parties हैं, that has to be decided before the court of law in substance by taking the advantage of the substantive law. So create rights and duties of parties concerned with the rules themselves as opposed to the procedures on how to apply them, and similarly provides remedies when the rights are violated. It provides remedies, different sort of remedies when the rights are violated, and basically defines offences and prescribes punishments. And the most important, a law in substantive laws is PPC, which is called Pakistan Penal Code. So this is called a substantive law, and it substantively, defined and adjudicated different sort of matters among people, among the citizens of Pakistan. And further, if we go ahead after substantive law, and when we see the next one, which is the procedural law. The procedural law on how to apply a law deals with procedures on how to apply a law, consists of steps or guiding principles. Basically, procedural law, what is that? That is something deals with the procedures on how to apply that particular law, consists of steps or guiding principles or rules of practice to be complied with or followed in the administration of justice or in the application of substantive law. It is basically referred to as adjective law or CRPC or CPC. It defines the procedures to how to prepare your plaint or your cases or your different applications under various or several laws. So, or in criminal proceeding codes or civil procedure codes, this is called the procedural law. We define the procedure, how you will move on in your matter before the court. So this is how the procedural law works. So another one in class of the law is criminal law, which is very popular. I mean everybody is knowing about that, well-known law, and it has been defined as a law of the crimes. That what are the crimes are being committed in the society, and what sort of the crimes are being conducted by the criminals in different part of the area. So a crime has been defined basically as an act or omission committed or omitted in violation of public law, which is murder or robbery or theft or snatching or kidnapping for ransom or otherwise. So these are the crimes. So criminal law basically deals with the crime. So all crimes or offences are created by Parliament through statute, and suspects are arrested by the state through police, and offences are generally prosecuted by the state through the office of the Attorney General. So Attorney General is the state representative in offences which generally prosecuted by the state. Another popular and very common, you see, classification of law is the civil law. Civil law, basically, it is concerned with the violation of private rights in their individual or corporate capacity, breach of contract, negligence, defamation, nuisance, or trespassing, etc. What is that? It is concerned with the violation of the private, private rights. Someone has the private property, which is his property, and he has ownership of that property, and somebody can trespassing, or somebody's taking undue advantage of that property by defaming, by the act of defamation, or creating a nuisance, or breaching a contract in between that. So this is called the civil law. And another, if a person or private rights are violated by the person, has a cause of action, and cause of actions are recognized by statutes and by the common law. It is very simple. Cause of actions are recognized by these statutes. I mean, एक चीज कानून में लिख दी गई है, एक आपका हक है, ये बता दिया गया है, ये आपको मिल चुका है, ये आपको रिकॉग्नाइज्ड है. यह एक कॉमन लॉ है. कॉमन लॉ किसे कहते हैं कि जो आपके एरिया में, मतलब आप जिस भी रियासत में रहते हैं, जिस माशरे में रहते हैं, वहाँ पर जो मौजूद है, जिस पे अमल दरामद हो रहे हैं, वो तमाम कवानीन, उसके तहत अगर कोई उसके मतलब बरखिलाफ आपकी सिविल जो सिविल लिबर्टी है, उसके अंदर कोई इंटरफेयर हो रहा है, तो ये सिविल लॉ के ज़िम्न में इसे लिया जा सकता है. द पर्सन हुज राइट्स हैव बीन allegedly violated sues the alleged wrongdoers, hence civil cases styled as plaintiff versus defendant. It is the duty of the plaintiff to adduce evidence to prove is the case, that the burden of proof lies on plaintiff. This is the very common and very popular adage of the courts or of the law, that the burden of proof lies on the plaintiff, who is the complainant basically. And the purpose of civil law is the protection of rights and enforcement of duties, as well as provision of legal remedies, and as and when a person's rights have been violated. Civil law consists on the and connected with the violation of the private rights in their individual or corporate capacities, and breach of contract, negligence, or defamation, or something like that. Now we understand what are the classification of the law. Now we comes to what are the acts. आपने सुना होगा कि ये एक्ट है, ये एक्ट है, टेररिज्म का एक्ट है, दूसरा एक्ट है. So what is that? So act means a thing done, deed, something done by a person pursuant to his violation. So this is called the act. Act used with a reference to an offense or a civil wrong shall include a series of act and words which refers to acts done, extend also to illegal emission. Act includes illegal emission also. I told you earlier concerning what is illegal emissions. In environmental law, you can understand that very well by the smoke emission, which is polluted, and different particles in the smoke. This is the very straightforward example. Otherwise, the other emissions from the society or from the area. The word act extends to illegal emissions, and no distinctions can be made between acts done illegally and in bad faith and acts done bona fide in official capacity. So it extends to the illegal and the legal, distinction. According to the Criminal Procedure Code, Act means and includes the power to examine and cross-examine witnesses and address the court. So this is called the act done by the person in a good intention and a good faith, or the bad intention, the bad deed, or the bad faith. So these are the different sort of the acts, and sometimes you see the ordinance and the rules. You see there is also a form of the classification of law. So ordinance basically. The president of a state, I mean the president of Pakistan, has the power to promulgate ordinance during recess of the parliament. If the session of the parliament is not being done, or their absence, or there is a recess, there are the holidays for the parliamentary, or the session is off. So meanwhile, you see vacuum of this recession can be filled by the ordinance, which may be announced or promulgated by the President of Pakistan for the shorter period, for the 90 days, and afterward that has to be, attested by the Parliament if there is a democracy in that country. So rules, what are these rules? Shall mean a rule made in exercise of power conferred by any enactment, and shall include a regulation made as a rule under any enactment. These are the rules, and the rules basically made by the powers given by the law. I mean, if there is a rules, if there is a law about the property, then there should be a rules that how to implement those law. So implementation process is called the rules, and the legislative or the authority under which the enactment was done authorize some department or some other agencies to make rules for the ease of application of that particular law, basically. And what are the regulations? Regulation means a regulation made by the federal government or the government of provinces and so on. So these are the regulations. What it does means that regulates the law and the function of the law according to the the particular environment and the particular transaction of any trade or the business or any process. So regulation is basically doing the regulating the concerned laws. So regulation means that regulations made by the and it maybe that can be made by the federal government or the provincial government under various sections and under the constitution, and other by the governors and under the article of the constitution and the president, or by the governors under different articles of the constitution. So this was the regulation in form. Thank you very much.